Great scientist Albert Einstein once explained relativity from the subject biology. How relativity works in biology. He said that if we remove all honeybees on this planet, then we may not survive, humans may not survive for more than 4 years after that. The reason is simple. Honeybees are the main pollinators of crops. Food production entirely depends upon bees to a great extent, and nearly 80% crops are pollinated by bees. So, if we just look at one example of honeybee, then see how much we depend upon that. One single species of an insect. But human race relies on these bees to such a great extent that whatever crops we take, most of the food we consume, that basically is pollinated. Almost 80% of the crop plants are pollinated by bees. So we need to understand the biodiversity around. We need to understand the diversity of life around. All these living organisms, they lead an interconnected life, and that is why we are supposed to understand biodiversity, diversity of life. So biology is the study of living organisms on this planet. In biology, we study life on this planet, living organisms on this planet. The question is, how do we define life? Every day on social media, in our communication, there are a lot of dudes who tell us the definition of life. This is life and that is life. But the question is, according to biology, how do we define a life? What is that parameter that differentiates a living organism from a non-living organism, from a non-living object? How do we differentiate between living and non-living? What is this life factor in biology? And that is the first point we are supposed to understand. Biology defines life as something, some existence that has protoplasm in it. Protoplasm is the physical basis of life. In fact, life is an abstract term. Abstract is something that is simply an imagination of an artist or somebody, some visualizer. Life is abstract. It is not a concrete existence. but it manifests through various different life forms. So when we define something abstract, when we describe something abstract, we use a physical basis for that. For example, let us say sugar, a sweetness. Sweetness is an abstract term. You cannot show sweetness. But sugar is the physical basis of sweetness. Similarly, life is abstract according to biology. Protoplasm is physical basis of life. It is something which can explain the life processes in living organisms. It can explain what life is in biology.